Hawks fans, get a load of this, all right? Because everyone is speaking about this. About a couple of weeks ago, news came out about something that the Hawks did this past preseason that might not necessarily pan out as well as we all thought that it would. It basically would. And here I am. I am here to tell you guys that I do not believe, or I've not drank the Kool-Aid as far as thinking that this might not pan out for us. As a matter of fact, I still stand 10 toes down, stand 10 toes solid on the fact that I believe the Atlanta Hawks hit double time on what they did this past offseason, and I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to talk about what basically transpired. I'm going to go through this article. I'm going to talk to you about it, and we're just going to have a good time this morning. What's happening, everybody? My name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest, and definitely happy to be here with you guys. I appreciate everyone who basically takes the time to view our content. Okay, 2,719 viewers and subscribers. We definitely appreciate you guys for doing so. And then, of course, to the 51% of you that are not subscribed, that is perfectly fine, because we know that you see the content. We know that you see what's going on. We know that you are familiar with myself and Chris Tipmore. And we want to make sure that you guys join the other 48% of subscribers. Join the other 2,719 folks and go ahead and get in with the Hawks Digest thing before the season starts, because I'm telling you right now, things are only going to go up from here. 3 games in, the Atlanta Hawks right now are 2-1 in the preseason. We got one more preseason game to go, and we're definitely excited for what the Atlanta Hawks have done this far. And we definitely want to make sure that we're going to keep you guys updated. Myself, Chris Tipmore, everybody here at Digest Media. Let me make sure that I point that out, at Digest Media, because we are a conglomerate. We talk about basketball, baseball, hockey. I think they've traveled into football as well. So definitely stick with us. We got a lot to, disseminate to you all. But let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So, of course, during the 2025 draft, the Atlanta Hawks made some major moves in just the draft in general. Okay, we do realize or remember when the Atlanta Hawks, they had the 13th pick. And instead of taking Asa Newell at the 13th pick, the Atlanta Hawks traded away that 13th pick, and they moved down to the 23rd pick and still picked up Asa Newell. And then, of course, they got an unprotected rights to move favorable for the Pelicans and the Bucks in the 2026 first round. So ultimately what that is basically the Atlanta Hawks were able to move back 10 spots, still get Asa Newell at a discounted rate, and then on top of that, be able to finesse out of the Pelicans. They were able to finesse out of the Pelicans an unprotected pick out of basically whoever has the best option for the Atlanta Hawks. So if the if the Bucks, finish in the top 5, the Atlanta Hawks would get that pick. If the Pelicans were to finish in the top 5, the Atlanta Hawks would get that pick. So basically, this has turned out, and for what a lot of people viewed, to be very well for the Atlanta Hawks. Asa Newell, for one, we've seen in this past preseason game, he's definitely done his due diligence. He's definitely done a really good job, first of all. And I do think myself and Chris Tipmore both agree that he could possibly break through the lineup, not the starting lineup, but I do feel like he'll break into the rotation. I think that he has the talent to play some minutes this season. I do not believe he's going to go down to College Park and play with the developmental team, the College Park Skyhawks. Nothing wrong with the College Park Skyhawks. Trust me, that is dope. I do believe that he's going to do well. The Skyhawks are going to do well. That's besides the point. I do believe that Asa Newell is going to break through with the Atlanta Hawks. Now, here's the deal, right? And I'm reading from the article. If you want, I can definitely post this article here underneath in the caption for you all. But what it says is the Asa Newell trade might not be the home run that it appeared to be. And for the reason that they point out, I feel as though it's questionable in my eyes. I don't see the fact that we didn't hit a home run, okay? The Pelicans still have a lot of work to do. Milwaukee, they're still teetering on the verge of whether or not they're going to trade Giannis or not. So again, I do feel as though this is going to still be something that is favorable for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I'm going to show you a series of pictures really quickly that are going to point out why they feel as though this trade or this Asa Newell trade might not pan out well for the Atlanta Hawks. Here's picture number Here's picture number one. Of course, this was Zion Williamson in 2019. And one of the things that I've noticed about Zion Williamson thus far in his career is that he's not available. You know, one of the things that are constantly talked about in my household when it comes to sports is the best ability of any athlete is availability. You know, despite all of your athleticism, despite all of what you possess on the court or on the field of play, your best ability that you possess is availability. And that is one of the major problems that we have seen with Zion Williamson. And then on the next slide, it basically shows Zion Williamson, I guess, showing up in better shape this season. He's shown up slimmer. He's shown up to have, I guess, to seem more quicker or whatnot in a very quick span of time. I wonder why. Now, I'm not going to go into my personal thoughts into how he did this, but my only point is that despite what he has done to get in the shape that he has gotten in, I still question whether or not Zion Williamson can stay healthy throughout the course of a season. Through his entire career, he has maintained an issue with staying healthy and staying on the court. Weight does not have anything to do, well, it does kind of have something to do with it, but my point is that despite his physical stature, I do not see how Zion Williamson can stay on the court throughout an entire course of a season. I even went so far as looking at his productivity so far through the preseason, okay? Now, right now, throughout the preseason, he's averaging about 18 minutes per game, 61% from the field, 0 3-pointers. He's not a three-point shooter. That's just point blank period. 3 for 3 for free throws, okay? I think he's about 5 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, 1 turnover per game, and in total, basically 14 points per game. In my honest opinion, I do not feel as though that is enough for this entire trade that the Atlanta Hawks were able to develop and muster up to be turned over on its head. I just don't see that. I cannot see how this, I guess, and I'll go through it again really quickly for those of you who are just tuning in. Here's Zion Williamson in 2019. Here's Zion Williamson in 2025. Now, he didn't just go from, 2019 and then here, it was a process to where he lost the weight and got in better shape. No, he was injured last season. And of course, I think he was able to show up in, I guess, better shape this season. I think last season he definitely was a chunkier player. We could even go so far as pointing out Luka Doncic. Again, he was also a chunkier player going to LA. And I'm not going to say all of a sudden, but all of a sudden he shows up again this season and he's in slimmer shape. He's in a slimmer stature. He's in a better shape than he was once before. You guys, let me know your comments in the comment. Let me know in the comments what you feel as though in this situation. But again, I just don't see how the Atlanta Hawks draft, trade, fireworks, if you will, because again, that was a steal by the Atlanta Hawks to be able to move back from the 13th pick, 10 spots, and then also finesse an unprotected favorable pick between the Pelicans and the Milwaukee Bucks in order to get the guy that they wanted and to finesse picks out of those teams. I do not see the Atlanta Hawks still losing in that situation. As a matter of fact, I still feel as though this is a good situation for the Hawks. One guy, in my honest opinion, does not change that. And we can also argue that Zion Williamson is not the game changer that he once came into the league to be. You know, I do believe that there's always a ceiling that some players may hit. You know, either it be you hit your ceiling in park ball and AAU, or others might hit their ceiling in high school, others hit their ceiling in college, and some in certain levels of the pro league. But again, with Zion Williamson losing weight does not have any bearings on what the Atlanta Hawks did in the preseason. But I'm going to shut my mouth. I'm going to stay out of it. I'm going to let you guys keep the conversation going in the comments. My name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest. I'm signing out. Peace.